So you fit it. That was one of my favorite albums as well.
Yeah.
Um, Now let's do a little bit on the present. How do you perceive the evolution of rap, hip hop, whatever they want to call it, gangster music,
Uh,
from your early days to now?
I don't see it evolved. I don't see it as evolution. Like the state of West Coast or gangster or whatever rap has devolved. Yeah, I guess if that's a word, it declined because gangster
Absolutely.
rap used to be like even with NWA was fuck the police with Snoop. It was ain't nothing but a black thing, baby. Like it was and it's driving the cops crazy or so it was rebellion. It was real rebellion. It was a real revolutionary message. Even though we was talking street hood talk, we had a clear common enemy in mind. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't each other. Even though when I came out around the same time, shouts out to Battle Cat, he was doing banging on wax. And banging on wax, even
Hmm.
though they was dissing each other, that still was a demonstration, even though it's called gangster rap, it was still a demonstration of Bloods and Crips coming together, doing something other than physically violence to each other. They was coming together, even though they talking that shit, they was uniting and trying to make money and do business with each other. So that's what we was on. So since then, it really turned into, you know, violence and drill rap and such, you know what I'm saying? So the
Yeah,
content,
it changed greatly. So my next question, I mean, is there any new artists or any other artists that kind of resonates with a message today?
yeah, it's a lot that resonate, but it ain't many that's in the mainstream because, that's part of the problem. Hip hop is not mainstream. You know, the mainstream has hijacked hip hop. So the people that control the mainstream images and audio and stuff that you hear is not a representation of what hip hop or rap or whatever really is and what it was supposed to be. So um, that's a whole nother conversation, and that's part of the problem. That's part, like Public Enemy said, fight the powers. That's those is the powers that be at this point. The people that control the media, and now they using their money and their fame and the manipulate us, the poor artists that they know want to be famous. We want to be known. Okay, we'll give you the spotlight. We'll make you famous, but you got to talk about this. The people don't want to hear about that. Like, how you gonna tell me what the people don't want to hear about? And I'm from the people. I am the people. But if they can say, well, can you make it more this? Can you make it more tough? Can you make it more gangster? And everybody, then heard
Yeah.
them interviews. They absolutely did that. So you got to ask, what was their agenda for doing that?
Yeah, and most people don't want to talk about that, the reality of what the music industry is being controlled by.
Right,
But we used to have it in our era where it would break in the street first, and it forced the industry to have to mess with it.
right.
Today, now they're not doing that. They're changing up their model to get the industry to mess with them, as opposed to speaking to the streets, coming in with your fans. And you would think it would be more similar to back in the day because you have your own Instagram, your own TikTok. You
Hmm.
can speak to the people in the way that you want to, and gain your
Right.
your 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 fan base from that. But
But
it
you,
seemed like
but
that
you,
ain't working, or
well,
they're not
it's
using
it's
it
part of
properly.
it's
I'll
part of the
say that.
same machine though. So you used to be able to do that when social media first hit, but now they got something called community guidelines. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
It's
yeah.
against our community guy. Okay, well, this is our art form. This is our community, but
Right.
we have to be at the mercy of y'all's distribution and this dissemination of our message. So now you're able to monopolize us again. Now you're able to control what we say because if we don't say what y'all like, then you're gonna block it or censor it or cancel it or whatever. So we started in the Trump. They saw, okay, well, we want a piece of that, that pie, but even while they're looking for a piece of the pie, they looking for a way to control it and manipulate it, and they successfully have done
Right.
that.
Yeah. So even now, with all the digital platforms and streaming, has your approach to music distribution and engagement with fans changed with knowing what you know?
Yeah, I had to do it the old fashioned way. Like, you'll go crazy in this industry because just like the artists before us, before rap, whether it's jazz or soul, rhythm and blues, gospel, all these geniuses and gifted singers and songwriters died insane, or they was drug addicts or whatever, because they was up against this same problem of their time, and they didn't,
Right.
they didn't know how to fight it. So the way that I learned how to fight it is I understood, well, let me make music for therapy for me. I can't rely on this to feed my family. I got to do it because this is the kind of I make the kind of music I wish somebody was making that I could listen to. I say the kind of shit that I wish other rappers would say. So I don't even do it for money. So money comes,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying, but it don't come through that direct channel like that. You know what I'm saying? It's starting to happen
Right.
now, but you have to have been consistent. I've been doing this for 32 years. You know what I'm saying? The same
Yeah,
message, pushing
absolutely.
that same line. It was popular, then it wasn't popular, then it was anti-Semitic, and then it was anti-this and anti-that. Like, and now it's coming back up because the actual former president of the United States and Elon Musk, everybody is anti-Semitic now. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of showing
Right.
you who was the controllers or the muscle behind the media campaign, or the media, control anyway. So that's a whole other
Absolutely.
conversation.
Now, are there any current social issues or movements you feel strongly about and plan to address in your upcoming projects?
No, my message is the same. I ain't saying nothing new. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't
Okay.
nothing new. The enemy is the same enemy. The tactics are the same tactics. It's same shit, different day, different toilet. It's just that, you gotta evolve and with the quality of music, the quality of beats and rhymes but we saying the same message. If it's about justice, if it's about peace, if it's about unity, like it's saying the same message.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, now let's talk about the future a little bit.
Mhm.
Where do you see the direction of rap, hip hop, gangster music is going in the next decade?
Um, the commercial one is going to hell. Like the commercial representation is going to hell, but real rap and hip hop wasn't commercial anyway. So those of us like
Right,
myself that's still gonna do it whether it's for money or not, that's gonna rise back to the top. The cream is gonna rise back to the top after all this commercial smoke clears. It need to crash and burn. And then that's gonna give us more to talk about, even if we talking about victory and we broke the beast and we broke the machine, and
right.
what I'm saying. But they trying to
Yeah,
now, yeah,
absolutely.
they trying to establish, AI now as our enemy. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they see the natural power of just humans, of all people, they all are rebelling against injustice, rebelling against bullshit. So now these same wicked scientists got, okay, we're gonna do AI, you know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be our competition, or that's gonna be our enemy now. They're gonna create some shit that keeps the focus off
A
of them.
false narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, a false narrative. They give us another enemy to
Right.
hide themselves.
Right.
Absolutely. Um, Are there any emerging artists you're excited about collaborating with, or you want to give a shout out to based off of them being true to their identity? It's a few of them out there. Me being in artist development and
Right.
A&R and working with, the likes of, say a Glasses Malone and the LA Giants.
Right.
Uh, it's not really a whole lot of them, but it are some that's true to who they really are. And I've always been open. That's what I think I liked about, being in the industry early on. It was true. The artist was true to themselves when they performed. It wasn't a false narrative or false identity.
Right. Yeah. Any artist that got the nuts to say something controversial. I like that, right? Because we living
Yeah,
now in such a fake, controlled, emotions run. Emotions are the law. That's why
right.
we talked before even about your man
Yeah,
Charleston White. Like, I don't agree with a gang of shit he say. Like, I got a big problem, but I super agree with his nuts to say what everybody else don't want him to say. That's what rap used to
Absolutely.
be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Rap is supposed to be that. It ain't about, you offended me and my emotions. Like, emotions ain't the law. You know what I'm saying? Emotions ain't the
No.
law.
What is the main message or legacy you hope to leave behind for the future generation?
That I was the main legacy that I hope to leave behind, uh, in this rap game and in life period, is that I was a righteous instrument or tool or even weapon to help free the minds of the people. You know what I'm saying? To raise us, out of our hypnosis or out of our programming, and to identify our real enemy, you know what I'm saying, which is these scientists, these people that's scientists, behavioral scientists, that's playing us all like little video game men, you know what I'm saying, and having us
Right.
at each other's throat and fight and kill each other. Because if it ain't blue and red, then it's black and brown. If it ain't black and brown, it's black and white. If it ain't that, is hetero and homo, and is, you know what I'm saying, somebody is behind all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I want my
No, you're
legacy.
absolutely
Yeah, I want my legacy to be, okay, he helped pull the cover off the real so-called Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying?
okay. Now, do you foresee a shift towards more conscious rap coming back in the mainstream, and how can established artists like yourself influence that?
Mainstream is the problem. Mainstream is the enemy. So now, like I said, whoever is behind the mainstream, unless we take the mainstream back, and that's really just saying fed up, dissatisfied masses unite and smash those little, those little gatekeepers. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I see happening right now. I'm, this is about music, but this whole Trump shit, you know what I'm saying? That what we seeing happen that would never happen before is a president, a former president, a sitting president is getting, you know, trying to assassinate him, impeach him, sue him, imprison him, all for what? Right?
Right.
Did he do worse than
They don't,
any president before him?
than anybody else?
Right.
No.
Only thing he did worse is say there's a deep state enemy, there's an IRS enemy, there's an FBI enemy, there's a Federal
He
Reserve
identified
enemy.
them.
So
He identified them and exposed
he
them.
exposed them. So now you seeing something that never happened in history before, and he represents niggas. He represents, what I mean by what they doing to him is what they've been doing to black males for the last 400 years here. So who is it? Because, we know we got a natural problem with the manipulation that happened between black and white in slavery, but who was the architect of that? Who want to have the black and white masses in their feelings against each other? You know what I'm saying? When in reality, you know what I'm saying, whoever's doing this to Trump is the real enemy. White people see it. The masses of white
Absolutely.
people see it. It's just niggas don't see it. A lot of black people don't see it because we emotional. You know what I'm saying? We in our feelings. So all you got to say
Yeah.
is he's racist and shit.
Well, they got us so busy looking at other shit, Instagram, YouTube, how they controlling our mindset. We can't see anything real because it's not coming through there.
Right.
If it's not coming on a TikTok through a dance or something, if it's not coming through Instagram partially dressed,
Yeah.
if it's not on Facebook with some, your mama did this, your daddy did this, my baby daddy ain't nothing, black men ain't.
Right.
If it's not coming in that form, we don't know how to receive real information no more.
100%.
Because that became a real information base, right? Even though it's false, it ain't real. Women talking about they want real men, ain't nothing on them real. It's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on
Yeah.
that we, behind the scenes, we know what we working on and we know what we trying to accomplish. And we've been doing this for years. But the questions and the reason for this interview is so people can see someone of your stature, someone of your history, be able to articulate certain things. And we can't get everybody, but if we can grab a few people through these interviews, we want to do so because we owe it back to the backs that we came in this music industry on.
Yeah, no doubt.
And now How has your understanding and practice of spirituality and religion evolved over the years, especially with your connection to the Nation of Islam?
Yeah, spirituality is just your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's not some fairy tale, spooky ghost story, traditional, false, unprovable belief stuff. Spirituality is just your mind state. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into belief. I'm into facts and what you can prove. You right? So, if my last name was a slave name, Miller, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to believe why why my last name is a slave name. Okay, I go find the facts. I do the research, right? It's because this
Right,
this happened to my people and this and that. So I'm I learned in the nation to go after the root. Don't swing on the branches and the leaves like little monkeys. Go to the root of everything. You got a problem, go to the cause. Don't go to the symptoms. Symptoms can help you a little bit, that you know that you got a
right,
problem. But the symptoms supposed to guide you to the root, to the cause. So the cause here is, like we talked about, a female ratchet and the drill, this and that. Slavery wasn't even necessarily the cause. That was a symptom. You know, who caused
right,
slavery? You know what I'm saying? Who manipulated both parties? And it's the same people today that control money. Whoever controls money and media. So do the masses of redneck whites control money and media? Do they print the money? You know what I'm saying? Whoever
absolutely.
whoever prints the money and whoever owns the media is behind all of this, because they the same ones that have
They can push the narrative,
yeah,
right? And they
globally.
also, not only do they print the money, they control the media. They also own the institutions, our penitentiaries and our federal, which is a whole nother conversation.
All of
But
that.
can you tell us about a personal challenge you faced in your career, and how did you overcome it?
Personal challenge. Like, the personal challenge is shaking off, learning how to separate the lies that my mother, like, because as black males and black females, we are influenced the greatest influence comes from our mother. So if somebody
Right,
can possess the minds or influence the minds of our mothers, then they got the babies, they got the whole generation. So that's why these enemies be so hard on pushing, this influence on our women, whether it's for Beyonce or Cardi B's or, all this stuff. They want to get the minds, they want to taint and corrupt the minds of our women, which is going to be the next mothers. So my biggest challenge has been separating the tainted love that I got from my mother from the real love, because she was deceived, and her deception and her weaknesses and all of that, emotional, misjudgments and poor choices, blaming my biological father or blaming her own father or whatever, is something I had to be able to separate. Okay, I love my mama, but I don't love this. I got to call this what it is. And a lot of us
right,
ain't mature enough to do that. If you say your mama is this or your mama did that, nigga, fuck you, nigga, you're gonna go to war for the love of your
right.
mama, but you don't realize
Well,
you
again, you gonna go to that emotion because, again, a mother is emotions,
right,
right? So if she raised a young man without a father figure in that household, he gonna problem solve like her, right? He
right,
gonna be emotional, and then if she was misguided and mistaught, she's gonna teach those bad things, not knowing that they bad things. She just didn't know.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And a lot of times, like you said, we can't be honest,
yeah.
right? How do you handle criticism and stay true to your artistic self or your artistic vision?
You say, how do I
Because young
handle
artists don't
criticism?
really, maybe they,
You say, how do I handle criticism? Is that what you said?
yeah. Well, I mean, just saying, we're speaking now to the next generation. We
Oh,
owe
okay.
we owe this conversation we having to them. So how would you tell them to handle criticism and then stay true to their visions?
It depends on what their visions are, because all visions ain't good vision. You know what I'm saying? I would say the golden rule is just treat people the way you want to be treated. Bottom line, like, cause that's the bottom line. Cause everybody can say, well, I think this is right, or this is wrong, or this is right, or this is wrong. Some people might love hurting people. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
You might,
Yeah.
the society is insane right now. I'm just gonna keep it 100. So you can't trust what somebody's vision is. Somebody's vision is like Dwayne Wade or his son. Like my vision is to make everybody accept that if my son called himself a girl, then he's a girl. That's his vision. Should I promote that? You know what I'm saying? So it's about
Right.
truth and righteousness, provable truth and provable righteousness. And some people think that's righteous. So we got to have a whole discussion now of what's true, what's right, what's natural, what's unnatural. You know what I'm saying? So when it's to that level, it's really separation time. Everybody ain't gonna make it. So you just got to find the people of
No.
like minds. And if they agree with what you agree with, then y'all build what y'all gonna build, and the other people let them build what they build, and eventually it's going to be a clash.
Right, right, right. Now, if you could have a sit down and conversation with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Historical figure, it would be the
Yeah.
originator of the heavens and the earth. It would be the creator. You know what I'm saying? Because and I'm kind of able to do that. Every human being is able to do that. They can tap in, to they innate intelligence and do the research to find out why things are the way they are. But we've been taught, our biggest problem is our concept of life and death and reality and our purpose here. And, so if somebody else control that narrative and is putting poison, false ideas and concepts and shit about your own existence in your head, then yeah, everything is confusion and everything is dissatisfaction and all of that. So I think we got the brain. The question that I would have, and it kind of been answered, is um, am I free to use my own brain? And I
Right.
already know the answer to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really no question that I can't figure out already without asking myself, if
Right.
that makes
Well, I
sense.
got a couple of more questions before we get out of here. What advice would you give a young artist trying to break into the industry today? And I know we kind of touched on it earlier,
Yeah,
but I kind of want to make it at the end because most people going to skip. I only hear certain things. So,
right.
what advice would you give a young artist trying to make it today?
The advice I would give any young artist trying to make it in hip hop or in any business today is to to recognize and identify reality. Be based in reality. People say, well, it's my truth, and that find out what the truth is. Ain't no my truth or your truth. Find out what the truth is. Identify the I would say get into to physics or the laws of positive and negative reality. You know what I'm saying? Because all
Right.
that has been necessary. People that's not scientific thinkers, they're gonna look at a battery, positive and negative. They're gonna look at the negative side as evil. Oh, that's evil. Nah, nigga, that's just negative. That's just negative force. You know what I'm saying? Negative
Right.
plus negative is another negative, but negative times negative is a positive. If you know what life and reality is, you can turn whatever you think is negative into positive. You got to
Into a
multiply it.
positive situation.
Right. And that's why even what's going on right now, so much negativity being multiplied. Yeah, it look fucked up and it's going to be hell, but out of that hell and chaos is going to come positive order. It's going to come positive. It's going to come out of this negative. But the emotional damage and pain and the bloodshed and loss and all of that we feel as individuals, we don't want no parts of that. So we become ignorant, emotional cowards instead of scientific thinkers and say, okay, well, we're going to have to deal with this negativity. So let's go over here and prepare ourselves for it. You know what I'm saying? So I would say
Absolutely.
accept reality. It's not about how you feel or what you want. It's about what is and what must be done based on what is. So any young artist, accept identify reality and bang on reality.
All right, absolutely. Outside of music, are there other avenues or mediums you're exploring to express yourself or advocate for change?
Yeah, of course, entertainment, all kinds of forms of entertainment and podcasting and even literature. I wrote a book. I wrote a relationship book called War in Your Heaven. To me, it's no better subject than male-female relationship. Male-female
Absolutely.
relationship. Like that cover everything. That cover, money, it cover beauty, it cover pleasure, it cover pain, it cover life, it cover death, it cover, So I'm not a love song type dude but love is just to me, it's not an emotion, it's a duty. You know what I'm saying? It's a pleasant,
Right.
cheerful,
Obligation.
righteous force, inspirational force that produces everything. So, I'm pushing for love, but the real definition, which is not emotion.
Okay, good. And our last question is, can you share an unexpected or surprising fact about yourself that most fans might not know?
Surprised and unexpected fact about myself. Man, I don't know. It's a gang of them, but uh, man, well, kind of break it down. Like, what would you get? Give me an example from your own.
uh, from my perspective, um, something that I know, like my son is like your nephew,
Uh-huh.
and how you interact with them and give them jewels and tools that they can use with your sons,
Right.
and how throughout this industry you've been able to help me guide them in a way that we know was the right way for them to go, but also showing them the truth so they can identify their movements and move a little better. I think fatherhood and brotherhood for me would be some things most people probably wouldn't know about you.
Right. Got you. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. And that's um I didn't suffered a lot. I lost a lot of, immediate family members. But my greatest wealth, my greatest flex, my greatest success, and all of that is in being a husband and being a father. I ain't the best husband. I'm just my second marriage. You know what I'm saying? I failed on the first one. I got 3 adult children from my first marriage, which, my son and your son, you know what I'm saying, is tight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at least it produced that, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I learned my
Absolutely.
greatest lessons from that failure and that heartbreak and that heartache. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a work in progress, and that made me an activist. Anything I fail at, I got the kind of mentality that I gotta conquer it. You know what I'm saying? Anything that makes me fearful or uncomfortable or make me feel less than what I am, now I'm an activist. Like if my mama or something died from cancer, now I gotta figure out, I gotta go the holistic route. I gotta do some research, some due diligence, and find out all the hacks. I gotta go to Dr. Sabi, or I gotta go here or there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm that kind of person, saying I'm a
Right.
warrior when it comes to, you know, things that hurt us and hurt our people or whatever. I'm gonna go after. I'm a scientist and a therapist and a counselor in all kind of areas that people don't know nothing about. So
Right.
that's what I would say. I'm more of a brother and a friend than anything else.
Absolutely. And we're gonna close out on that. It was good talking to you. Always a pleasure seeing you. I'll be back in the land in a little bit. Come sit down with you, chop it up,
Yo,
um, share some of this wisdom with the next generation. It was a pleasure to sit down with Brother Cam.
man,
I'm Uncle Hen, and we out of here.
peace.